I grew in 9 months from 4,000 followers on Twitter to 36,000 followers. That's over 3,500 new followers per month. I want to give you 9 tips so you can grow to 1K in the next 4 weeks yourself. Don't use growth hacks. That's tip number 1. They don't work. They might work in the short term, but actually they really hurt your personal brand and your growth long term. So focus on high quality content. And by that, I don't mean overly produced. I just mean don't use growth hacks. If this sounds interesting to you, give this video a thumbs up. And while you're down there, subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified every time I post a video or go live. So behind me, you can see I've got my graph, my stats over the last 4 weeks. So you can see on the 5th of January, I was just under 28,000. And if we roll forward all the way to Tuesday, which was yesterday, which is the 1st, so less than a month. But to give you an idea, I'm at 35 and a half, say 36 as of today. I'm actually at 36 today. So that would be a month, which is pretty good. I think that's about, what's that? 36 minus 28. It's like 8,000 in a month. So it's 2,000 a week. And I really believe anyone can do this. I'm nothing special. I'm just sharing content in my niche. Let's go into details. So focus on a niche. That's tip number 1. Really focus on a niche. And if you can sub-niche it, even better. The more focused you are, yes, the less eyes you get on it, but the more quality you will have. And that's how you can get into sponsorship and get paid to do tweets that are on brand and content that you want, but you get paid to do it, just to mention a company. But that's a conversation for another time. Let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd like to learn more about. But yes, don't worry about the high numbers. You actually want to be super niche. And I would highly recommend for tip number 2 to post 4 to 8 times per day. I experimented in the last week or so doing 12 to 16 times per day. And actually, I think it had a negative effect. I think it was too much volume. Although some people do say people post like 48 times a day and it works really well for them. Okay, give it a go, see what works well for you. But from my experience in the tech industry, 4 to 6 times per day. And you may be thinking, Eddie, that's quite a lot. How can I do that? How can I come up with 4 to 8 tips? And we're gonna get into that, so don't worry. I would have a variety of content types. For example, I post tips, motivational posts, and I do behind the scenes. I include community shout outs. I have kind of 8 various types of topics, still in my niche, but types of topics that I can post. So in a day, you're gonna get 4 to 8 different types of posts. They're not all just coding tips or motivational or behind the scenes. I think people kind of get bored of one particular thing. Imagine me just sharing coding tips 8 times a day, or me sharing 8 laptop photos with me kind of geeking out by a pool or in a beach or in a cafe 8 times per day. So it's good to mix it up and to spread it out over the 24 hours period. So scheduling is really important. We will get to that, but spread it out. Not everyone's in your time zone. So you want to post kind of, when I say 4 to 8 times a day, if for example you do 8 times, which is what I usually do, then that's every 3 hours, which I spread out through the 24-hour period. What I find really strange is people don't get involved in the conversations on Twitter. It's a social networking platform, so reply to other people. Don't just go, great, thumbs up. I mean, no one's really gonna have a conversation with you over that. It's good you're showing some engagement and support for that person, but really you wanna add your opinion, your thoughts, and that matters. And you could come back with a question and say, could you explain more? What do you mean by this? That's also fine, because I bet you other people are thinking the same thing as you in terms of that question. So it's really important. Questions do add value as well, especially if you ask them in public. Don't be that person who asks privately, ask in public. And then by getting involved in the conversation, other people who are following that tweet, those threads, they will see your great value that you've added as a reply, as a comment, and they can go check out your profile so you can grow that way. I think that's really important. Also, when people reply to your tweet, you need to reply back. You need to get involved in the conversation. Okay, if they've just written, great, then you might just drop it a like. But if they've asked a question, if they've given some valuable feedback, give your opinion back. I agree with this. I don't agree with this. It's okay not to agree with people, but as long as you do it professionally. So that's fine. And if you're replying, try and include their name, make it personal. Show that you haven't done thanks for the feedback, copy and paste, and done that to everybody who's replied to your tweet. That's how you build up kind of strength with your community. It's not about the vanity metrics, about the numbers. It is about the engagement. That will really help you later, longer term. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Eddie, this takes time. Yes, it takes time. I did a Twitter space that had, I think we had 4,000 people in total, and we averaged about 700 people at any one time. It took me 8 hours to catch up on the Twitter notifications. 8 hours the following day, because it was late at night for me, the Twitter space. I waited till I woke up the next morning, and it took me 8 hours. It does take time. But that's why not everyone's growing on Twitter, because they're not giving it the time they need. Yes, make sure you have a work-life healthy balance so they get consumed by social media, but it does take effort. And if you want to grow it, which I think is important that you do, is you should give it the time that it deserves. Maybe it is only an hour a day, but make sure you find a way to engage with other people. Let me give you some bonus tips. I kind of stopped counting. I don't know what number we're at. Let's say we're at about 5 or 6 now. But some bonus tips I'd like to say, definitely include a photo of yourself occasionally. It shows the authentic side. It shows that you're you, and it shows that you're real and you're not like a bot or a company or something like that. So if you can occasionally, and if you're in tech, include a picture of you in your office. Yeah, include a photo of yourself to show you are a person. I think that's really important. It doesn't have to be a perfect photo. It is just nice to do that with your face, where they can clearly see, who you are. I know some people don't like this, but I think this really helps. And I mentioned authentic. Be authentic, be you in your tweets. Don't run all these growth hacks and all these terrible, nasty things. I just unfollow those people, even if they're friends and they're decent people. But if they're just doing growth hack after growth hack and it's just polluting my timeline, I'm just gonna unfollow them because I'm not interested in that. It needs to add value, because my time is short and I would like to look at my timeline, but I want the information that I see to be valuable, not just growth hack after growth hack. Try and schedule your posts over that 24-hour period a few days in advance. So therefore, if you get busy, you've got this buffer where you won't miss, like for 12 hours, miss some posts, because that can affect your cadence and that can also affect, the frequency and the algorithm pushing you out. So I think it's really important to keep feeding the algorithm. I say don't feed trolls, absolutely, just block, forget those trolls. Not if they disagree with you, but if they're a douche about it, then definitely block them. But in terms of the algorithm, you wanna feed that. I think that's really, really important. So to conclude, post consistently and valuable information on Twitter. And valuable can be behind the scenes of you working in your office. It can be coding tips, and get involved in the conversation. I can't stress this enough. Mix up the type of content that you post, but all focused in your niche or sub-niche. I hope that really helps. I look forward to chatting to you in our Discord, where we talk about personal branding, open source, accelerating your career. Link in the description below. I look forward to seeing you in GitHub so we can chat between videos and live streams.